Hey D-Rose gang, it's me, Mama Nancy, and if you missed my first story time, I talked to you all about a young man named Craig. Now, the reason I named him Craig is because Craig be lying. That is a reference, of course, from the Friday movie, but yes, Craig be lying. Craig invited me out on a nice date. Well, it was supposed to be a nice day. To say that he was unprepared is an understatement, but he saved the whole entire date and kind of won my heart over at the last minute. Definitely check that video out. Today, I will be introducing you to a young man named Jerome. Now, why am I naming him Jerome? Is because Jerome was all up in my house. Unauthorized, yet all up in, this story is so messy, all up in my house. So this story takes place a while ago. I was still smoking. I think I told y'all that I smoked for 17 years of my life. But like I said, it takes place a while ago. I was at my friend's house smoking a cigarette outside, and he saw me from across the street, came over, introduced himself, told me he was new to the area, and asked to bum a cigarette off of me. Now, every time I was by my friend's house and I was outside smoking, he would come over because he would need a light, he would need a cigarette. It made no sense. How could you be a smoker and never have some of these essentials? Anyway, over time, I just started thinking, Nancy, maybe he's into you. Maybe this is him trying to get with you. But at that time, I was concentrating on my journey. I had just started my weight loss journey. That was my first weight loss journey, but I was concentrating on that. I was in school. I had my babies. I was not focused on him or anybody else at that time, to tell you the truth. But I did not mind kicking it with him. We used to talk while we were out there smoking, and that was the extent of it all. One day I came back from the gym. He comes up, oh, so you go to the gym? I'm like, is it the sweat that gives it away? But yes, I do go to the gym. And he's like, you know, do you mind one day I'll come with you? Now, y'all know how I feel about this journey, how I feel about this journey, like the fitness, the eating, the lifestyle, the health. I love it, and anybody that will hear me, my goodness, I will talk your ear off, and definitely I would want to pull you along with me. Let's get it together. So when he told me that, I was more than excited to have him join me in the gym. But like I said, I was not paying attention to that man in any way, shape, form, or fashion. But let's go to the gym. So I went to the gym, and I'm doing my own thing. I'm working out over here. He's doing his thing over here. And then he says, Nancy, can you take a picture of me? Now, we know it ain't a real workout if we didn't take a picture or maybe a little video or boomerang to capture it. Like you didn't really eat unless you have a picture to document it. So I get that point. I grab the camera and I go to take a picture of this man. I'm so ashamed, but let me tell my story. So I go to take a picture of this man as he flexes his biceps, as he's like kind of come on, I'm a girl, you a girl, we girls. Okay, so the sweat was kind of like trickling, and then the bicep was kind of bulging. And as I hit the camera and the camera flashed, it was a little instant attraction at that moment. Child, I'm telling you, the sweat and the muscle had me low-key kind of open. So we started talking, we started getting to know each other, and it was definitely cool. Like, he's a cool person. Anytime that I did bring my kids around my friend's house, he would see the kids, throw the football around, play with them. Like, he was a good guy, but it was not moving on past that. And even though I said I did not want anything at that time, because I did have so much going on, I didn't want to, I don't know, stay stagnated in whatever it is that we were doing. So at that time, there was another young man courting me. I'm not gonna make no first move. Let me sidebar to that. I may be a little bit old-fashioned. I'm not gonna make the first move. If you are attracted to me and you want to deal with me, I feel like voice that opinion. 9 times out of 10, if we're kicking it like that, I feel the same way. He waited too long. There was another guy that was courting me. Yes, I said courted. And Honestly, his honesty won me over. The fact that he was definitely a very truthful person, definitely had goals, ambition. It was a beautiful thing, and I respected that, and I respected him, so I went with the second guy. Sorry, but I have to do what's best for Nancy. So I went with the second guy, and I let him know, because we friends and we talk, but we're not in a relationship. So I did let him know. I said, yeah, you know that guy that I was talking to, we solidified everything. We sealed the deal. I'm his girlfriend. He's my boyfriend. And that was that. He was definitely not happy about it. But you had every opportunity to make a move and you didn't. So you snooze, you lose. So let's move on. We're still talking as friends. He's still bumming cigarettes off of me. So now one day I needed his help. I called him up, and I was actually doing my living room. I got a new couch, I got a new entertainment stand, I got a new TV, and I got a new dining room table set. So I could drive, like, ladies and gentlemen, I could drive. I just don't feel comfortable driving big things since I'm just such a little person. Like, for fear that my little feet won't reach the pedals, I was like, this might not be safe. So let me get a tall person, or an average height person, to help me out. So I called him up and I said, I paid for the U-Haul. I got everything together. It's in my name. I just need you to drive it. Help me get the stuff. Help me bring it back to the house. Set it up with me, and thank you. And he agreed. He definitely agreed. So we went, and while we're there, I'm getting, like, understand this is somebody I've been talking to, like, we've been kicking it and been friends for like a little while now. So I'm getting this vibe that it's uneasy. Like, I don't like the vibe that I'm getting. And then he says, you gonna feed me? You gonna give me something to eat? You gonna give me money? And I'm just like, well, I already planned on that too. I kind of wanted the work to be done first, since we're taking it there. I kind of wanted the work to be done first. And he's like, all right. So he brings the stuff to my house. The dining room table that I'm getting rid of has a thick piece of glass. And he said, Nancy, what are you planning on doing with that? Honestly, I was planning on throwing it away. I don't want it anymore. He's like, well, can I take it off your hands? Can I get it? Because honestly, I could get some good money for that. I don't know. Okay, fine. So I told him I'll leave it out back. Whenever he's ready to pick it up, it'll be out back waiting for him. So now I thought we were going to set everything up in the house together. He puts the couch together. I had one of those sectionals. Puts the couch together and then says, I got to go. I'll be back later. Later never came. Honestly, the next day, I was waiting for him the whole day. I called him up, nothing. Finally, I hunted him down because I kind of know where you live. And I was like, hey, buddy, I've been waiting for you. What's really good? Bear in mind, I already gave him his money when he dropped the things off. So I felt like maybe we went and finally bought a pack of cigarettes. I don't know. So I got him in the car and I brought him to the house. He helped me set things up. Like I said, with very much of an attitude. Half of the things were done, half of the things were not done. I couldn't take it anymore. I just said, all right, let me take you back home. I will do the rest by myself. And that was it. I just did not like the vibe, did not like the attitude, did not like the fact that I already gave you your money and my work is not done. So I just said, I'm over the whole thing. Thankfully, I got 2 hands and a bunch of kids. We'll figure this out on our own. And that is what we did. So this is where the whole entire story takes a turn for the worse. I gotta tell you, when I said to myself that this is the next story time video that I was gonna do, I was hesitant because of this part of the story. Because of this part of the story, it's still so very painful what happened on top of what happened. So let me just explain, because I know probably that did not make no sense whatsoever. I was at church, me and the kids were at church, and I had just given away our dog. I had to give away our dog because the landlord did not want the dog in the house. So I asked my former neighbor if they wanted a dog, and they were more than happy to welcome Chubby into their family. And I love the fact that they did not live too far. So anytime we wanted to go visit them or visit Chubby, we always had access. So we were at church and the kids were like, I want to see Chubby, I want to see Chubby, I want to see Chubby. So I got off the highway and went to go visit the family and baby Chubby. So make a long story short, that is the day that Jennifer got bit by a dog. And it was not like a nip. It was not, you know, like a couple of scratches, a bite. She tore a chunk of flesh out of the back of Jennifer's calf. It was, listen, it was so bad that everybody still carries that with them. A couple of months ago, Jamie got nipped by a dog, and you could see it on Jennifer's face as it happened that she's still there. And then the family were like, it could have been worse. Like, it's bad, it's horrible. It could have been worse. Like, we keep on saying if they went over, if the dog went up, if they went this way, there would be no Jennifer. So it was a very traumatic, painful experience for Jennifer and for the family. And like I said in the video about us adopting Nugget, I don't know if we're ready. You know, sometimes Nugget jumps now and you'll see Jennifer and Jamie like little paralyzed by it. We're working through it. We are animal lovers. We do love dogs, but there's a lot of pain tied to that. So Jennifer is bleeding and we're waiting for the ambulance to come, and they take us to our local hospital. And I feel like they weren't prepared. I feel like they were not equipped to handle that, but that was the nearest hospital. So they sewed her up, they gave some gauze, antibiotics, and sent her home. And I'm watching. If you got a weak stomach, you might want to fast forward, but it's starting to smell, it's starting to leak, it's just changing colors. And I said, I can't do this. And I took my baby to Atlanta. Now, I'm not gonna drive back and forth to Atlanta, that's dead. So I decided to stay in the hospital with Jennifer. And when we got there, the doctor said we were right on time, because any worse, my baby, they would have to amputate her leg because it would have reached that point. But thank God that we were right on time. So I'm in the hospital with Jennifer and with my oldest, Jessica. We're in the hospital room as they do all of these procedures and surgeries with Jennifer. And I get a call from Jerome. Now, I put it on the internet. I put, please keep her in your prayers, and we're okay, and thanks for the well wishes and all of that. I put that on my Facebook. And I know he's seen it. So when he called, I felt like it, you know, he was checking up to see how Jennifer's doing. Like I said, they're shooting footballs outside with each other, running around like crazy little kids together. So I felt like, okay, that's nice. He wants to check up on Jennifer. So I pick up the phone and he says, where are you at? I said, well, I'm in the hospital in Atlanta. I believe it was something of he wanted to go pick up the table. I said, well, it's around back like I told you it was going to be. And then I got off the phone. A few days later, probably a week, we were in the hospital. A week and a couple of days we were in the hospital. But I'm finally back home. I pull up to my house and my neighbor is just giving me this weird look. My neighbor's daughter, actually. She's giving me this weird look, and I just wave and I go inside the house. Now, when you come in my house, I have a family picture. The further you go down, like, oh, child, let me just tell you what happened. That man done robbed me, honey. He done robbed me. And I as I'm walking through the house, like, you know, you might not notice certain things, but then when you see a whole entire 55-inch TV screen missing, you're going to notice that. You going to notice that quick. Right by where the TV used to be, there was a Bible and a picture of my children. When you walk into the house, there is a picture of all of us. Now, the table out back, the glass is gone, everything is gone. And then I go in my room, I'm like, well, I don't got nothing of value really in my bed, child, my bed sheets, my blanket. The man done took the comforter. Like, I guess you had to wrap either the TV or the big, thick glass for the table in the blanket. But why you had to take my decorative pillows? I keep on looking at my bed. Because that's why I didn't want, I'm like, you took my decorative pillows? Like, you took my pillow for what? Like, what part of the game was that? Like, what did you need the decorative pillows for? So the TV's gone. And what hurt me about that is you had to look at the pictures while you were moving the things. You had to. And I don't know if anybody's feeling this, but I feel like I need to say it. Why am I saying that it definitely was him? Okay, so after I was done summing up what was missing, I went outside back to the neighbor because I'm like, was that the reason I was getting the weird looking vibes from you? So I went back out and I'm like, hey, and she told me, she said, your friend that usually is out here, you know, smoking cigarettes with you, he came by with another little friend and described his family member that never came by my house to a T. Did I call police? No, I didn't. I actually went up to the precinct to ask questions, to ask what can I do, to ask, you know, where can I go from here? And they said not really nothing because I had no proof. It was his word saying no, he didn't, because yes, I did confront him, versus her word that said yes, he did. So that was it. But like I said, what killed me was you had to look at those pictures. You had to see those kids' faces, and the fact that you knew where I was, the fact that you knew what I was doing, it hurt so bad to bring Jennifer home. My baby was in a wheelchair for a while, was on crutches for a while. So I'm like, yeah, we could prop her in front of the TV. We could watch movies with each other. Nope. Thankfully she had a phone, but nope. The TV's gone. My blanket and my decorative pillows, that's gone. The tabletop, I really didn't want it, but now that's gone. And usually when I do story times, there's always a moral of the story. The moral of the child. I've been thinking since I said I wanted to do this video, what is going to be the moral of this story? I have no idea. So that's where y'all could help me out with this. Listen, I know the moral of the story may be Nancy need to choose better quality people to let in her life. Come on. But I don't know what the moral of the story is. Comment down below if you saw a moral in the story. Probably follow your intuition, follow the vibe. I was definitely not into it to begin with, but then the flexation of the muscle got me a little delirious. But how do you end this story time? Thank you so very much for watching. Tune in next time for another video. I'll try to have a happy one next time. Be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you on the flip side.